on.
Yep.
You rolling, Chad?
Yep.
So just so you,
If anyone needs.
I spoke with you this morning.
Oh, want me to take my case?
I got it.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm trying to
Sorry.
Well, good.
Somebody let me know when you're all ready.
1 second, we're getting. We'll be ready.
All right, once again, we are waiting for this live news conference to begin on the steps of the federal courthouse in downtown St. Louis. Inside the courthouse, moments ago, Steve Stenger, the former county executive, pleaded not guilty to bribery and mail fraud charges.
Serve as the senior litigation counsel. We have some brief comments. The indictment today that was unsealed, the grand jury's indictment that was unsealed today, is the result of a year-long undercover investigation. It was conducted by the United States Attorney's Office, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Postal Inspection Service, with the assistance of the Internal Revenue Service Criminal Investigations. The undercover investigation involved the cooperation of any number of witnesses and concerned citizens. It involved court-ordered search warrants, court-ordered pen orders. It involved any number of, actually the review of thousands of emails, the thousands of text messages that resulted ultimately in the charges today. The investigation is ongoing, so my comments today can't be extensive. In addition, of course, now there's a criminal case pending here in the district court. I would also add that during 2018, the investigation was conducted in such a way as to not adversely impact, or have any impact, if you will, on the 2018, the August 7th primary election for county executive, as well as the November general election for county executive, as is the policy pursuant to the Department of Justice. Again, because the investigation is ongoing, because these criminal charges are pending, those are our brief comments. I'd be glad to answer any questions if I can.
In the indictment, there was mention of a trustees program. Is there any other investigations going on? Are you further investigating other trustees?
There's an ongoing investigation, ongoing federal criminal investigation.
Any of the other people named in this indictment, could they face charges?
There is an ongoing criminal investigation, and there is always the possibility that additional individuals or entities could be charged.
Some people were named and some were not in that indictment. Some get initials, some get company one. How do you determine who's named and who?
I really can't comment on that.
Can you confirm that you talked with former or current county employees, or if one of Stenger's aides wore a wire to get some of his dialogue?
Yeah, I'm not going to confirm the source of any of the text messages or recorded meetings or recorded phone calls. Again, there were search warrants, there were phone orders, and there were cooperating individuals.
How would you describe this in layman's terms, in terms of all that you were able to get? How would you describe these actions as that we've seen so far in this indictment?
The actions by the defendant?
Yes.
I think the indictment speaks for itself. It's a 44-page indictment regarding the 5 schemes that are set forth here. I really don't think I should have any further comment on what's contained within the indictment.
How quickly do you want this to happen? Are you pushing to get this done any quicker than normal?
We're, in any public corruption matter, particularly one that involves, that went to the highest levels of St. Louis County government, we run at these investigations, and we're working very hard along with the FBI, the Postal Inspection Service, to conduct this investigation in an appropriate way and reach a conclusion.
Can you explain the charges? Why mail fraud specifically within the law?
Well, mail fraud is the jurisdictional issue. It's really honest services fraud. The charges are basically that the defendant deprived the citizens of St. Louis County of their right to his honest services, and there were mailings used. And it was a bribe. It was a pay-to-play scheme, obviously, that involved bribes paid through political donations in exchange for his official acts in awarding and directing others to award contracts either through St. Louis County or through the St. Louis Economic Development Partnership and the Port Authority.
There's still more cases. Do you think that this indictment sends out to other lawmakers who may allegedly engage in this type of activity?
Well, we always look for our investigations and our prosecutions to have a deterrent effect.
How much of the requested documents have you yet to even receive or go through?
I can't comment on that.
Have you gotten them all yet?
I can't comment on that.
Can you speak to the office's priority on investigating and prosecuting public corruption?
One of the Department of Justice's top priorities is investigating public corruption, particularly of elected officials such as the defendant, Steve Stenger.
As major corruption cases go, how good is this one? You have a lot of good evidence. I mean, how would you characterize your chances?
It's a 44-page indictment. You can read the indictment.
No, what I mean is Stenger seemed less than broken, like he's got a fighting chance. How do you read your chances of proving your case?
We're confident in our case. We're confident in our case, Kevin.
Did you all play any role in his resignation?
He resigned this morning, and we understand that he'll be surrendering his Missouri law license in the near future.
Did you play any role in that?
I can't comment on that.
There's no deal or anything cut for him to resign?
He resigned earlier this morning.
Have you been in discussion with the defendant and Scott Rosenblum about some sort of plea deal?
I can't really comment on that.
Do you know his bond amount?
He received a personal recognizant bond, so there's no amount. It's his personal promise to appear at the court proceedings.
Is that standard for public officials, or?
It's standard for an individual such as this defendant who has no prior convictions, and there's no suggestion that he would continue to commit danger to the community or risk of flight.
Do you anticipate he will be indicted on any other counts?
I can't comment on that. It's an ongoing investigation.
You mentioned that about not, I may want to make sure I heard you right. Was it part of your policy not to drop this indictment during an election campaign because that's some sort of U.S. Department of Justice policy?
Department of Justice policy is not to have any adverse impact on any election. In this investigation began in early 2018. It went well through the year, obviously, and that included through the August primary and the November general election. So we had to take steps pursuant to our policy to avoid any adverse impact on the elections while continuing the investigation. Okay, thank you all very much.
Thank you.
All right, you have been watching a live news conference on the steps of the federal courthouse in downtown St. Louis. That was Hal Goldsmith, Assistant U.S. District Attorney, again outlining, not giving too much information, outlining the federal case against former St. Louis County Executive Steve Stenger, who today, just moments ago, in that federal building, pleaded not guilty to bribery and mail fraud charges. Goldsmith saying this was all the result of a year-long undercover investigation involving many entities, the FBI, the U.S. Postal Service, the IRS. The 44-page indictment, he said, he is confident in their case and the 5 schemes that were set forth here that they can prove that Stenger was guilty. He is also talking about the fact that this federal investigation continues right now. It is an ongoing federal investigation. Stenger has resigned as St. Louis County Executive, will surrender his law license later today. No comment on a plea deal, and Stenger was released with no bond. He was released on his own recognizance. Tonight at 6:30, the St. Louis County Council will hold a meeting. They are expected to vote on naming Stenger's replacement. We'll have complete coverage all day long, both online and on our newscasts at 4, 5, and 6. For now, we return you to Daily Blast Live.